أهلا وسهلا بضيوفنا الكرام في منصتنا منصة الإلهام. معكم سارة مقدمة المنصة، واليوم نفتتح جلستنا بضيفنا الكريم، هو المدير العام لمنطقة الشرق الأوسط وشمال أفريقيا لأكبر المنصات الترفيهية اللي رافقتنا من الطفولة إلى اليوم. نرحب بضيفنا الكريم الأستاذ تميم فارس.
شكرا سارة. السلام عليكم. يرحبني يكون معكم اليوم بالمنتدى السعودي للإعلام. Welcome everyone. It's my honor to be here with all of you. I'm still trying to figure out if I should speak English or Arabic. So خلينا رفعوا ايدكم لو بتفضلوا احكي بالعربي. Raise your hand if you prefer I speak in English. Raise your hand if you don't mind Arabic or English. تمام خلاص. Okay. Perfect. So اليوم حأعطيكم small أهلا وسهلا. هنتظر شوي. أهلا وسهلا. So اليوم أعطيكم ماستر كلاس عن الستريمينج اندستري بالشرق الأوسط. بس قبلها خليني أعطيكم شوي عني أنا. أنا تميم. My name is Tamim. I'm originally from Lebanon. I grew up right here in Riyadh. عشت بالرياض من 1990 لل 2003. بعدين I worked in Kuwait, in Qatar and the UAE. My background is in telecom, media and entertainment. I worked with STC, Vodafone. I helped launch Spotify in Middle East and Africa. And now I've been with Disney for around 4 years. And I also love to study. So let's start with a small quiz. When do you think the first Arabic movie was ever made? Who thinks it's 50 years ago? Or older? 70 years ago? Older? 100 years ago? Newer or older? Newer. The first movie, Arabic movie ever made was almost 130 years ago. It's called L'Équerre by Lumière. It was a really interesting, obviously black and white, no sound, no plot, no screenwriting. It was just a camera placed on the streets of Cairo, just showing the story of how people live their lives by showing a video. And that's it. That was the first Arabic movie. So, to get us started today, I want to do a small exercise. I know this is the first session. هذه أول session لأول يوم بالمنتدى. فخلينا هيك نعمل شوية engagement. بدي إياكم تفكروا. I want you to think about the first or a movie or a series that really resonated with you. فيلم أو مسلسل يعني حرك مشاعركم. فكروا فيه وبدي تختاروا شخص جنبكم تحكوا عنه. So pick someone next to you and tell them about a movie or series that really moved you and why. So I'll give you a couple of minutes. Think about it and then speak to the one next to you, please. It doesn't need to be a Disney movie. It can be any kind of fun. It's allowed. I'm going to ask some of you. What was your favorite movie? Yes. Which is? Anatomy of a? What made you like it? Okay. Oh wow. Psychology. Oh, interesting. Okay. So I've heard a few things: French, German, psychology, mystery. This is what really content is all about these days. So let's begin our journey. First, I'm going to give you a big picture about the industry in MENA. So today when we think about the video entertainment industry, لما نفكر عن ترفيه المرئي, it has so many meanings, right? Like you said, there's things about emotion, culture, adrenaline, perspective, الهوية والتواصل, سرد القصص وغيرها. It means so many things today when we think about the entertainment sector. But really, if you think about it, the business of entertainment is about two things. It's about production and distribution. الإنتاج والتوزيع. بس أخذ small break. سامعيني واضح؟ Yeah? Okay. بدي أقطع شوي. It's better? Okay. This is really what it's all about. Production or distribution. Everything we do, the entire chain of entertainment falls within these two buckets. So let's talk a bit about distribution. I might need to switch this. Right. Plan B. Speaking of distribution, my voice isn't distributed properly here. Better? All right, better? All right, great. خليني أكلمكم عن distribution, عن توزيع. I'm going to tell you a secret. This year I turned 40. So you're guessing my age? Okay. So since I was born, the entertainment industry radically evolved. I started with VHS, like many of you. Who's watched a movie on VHS? Raise your hand. Who doesn't know what I'm talking about? Okay, there's some of you that are probably shy to raise your hands. And then obviously there was a DVD boom, and then smart TVs, the rise of YouTube and user-generated content, and obviously streaming. And entertainment and stories, how they were delivered to people, continue to evolve over the years. And the future holds some really exciting things. For example, AR is still in its really early ages, and I'm going to give you a small snippet of how Disney imagines the future of entertainment consumption. Let's have a look.
It's a privilege with you for this momentous event. As the Walt Disney Company celebrates our 100th anniversary, we're proudly reflecting on our rich legacy of innovation and storytelling, while also looking to our future with enthusiasm and optimism. We're constantly in search of new ways to entertain, inform, and inspire our fans by combining extraordinary creativity with groundbreaking technology to create truly remarkable experiences. And we believe Apple Vision Pro is a revolutionary platform that can make our vision a reality. The first time I tried Apple Vision Pro, the thing that struck me the most was how it will allow us to create deeply personal experiences that bring our fans closer to the characters they love and more deeply immersed in our stories. This platform will allow us to bring Disney to our fans in ways that were previously impossible. We're tremendously excited to give you a sneak peek of just some of the things that we've been dreaming up. So take a look.
What if all the things that we thought were impossible were suddenly possible? You could experience your favorite stories in unexpected ways. Or in unbelievable places. You could do more than just watch sports. You could be at the game without leaving your home. Or be part of the action like never before. What if you could travel on a National Geographic adventure from your couch? Or if your imaginary friends weren't quite so imaginary? What if you could bring Disney World into your world? And what if you could become a superhero and seek the answer to the ultimate question? What if.
Space, time, reality. It's more than a linear path. It's a prism of endless possibilities, imperceptible to most, but not to you.
It's amazing what augmented reality is going to massively disrupt and enrich how we consume content. And obviously, this is still a really early stage technology, but it's going to be amazing. So we talked about distribution, how people consume content. But so what about production? Has that really evolved so much over the last 40 years? These are two of our most popular movies of all time, Titanic and Avengers Endgame, around 20 plus years apart. Similar, let's say, format in terms of production. But when we think about production today, it's really about so many levers, right? The value chain of production includes so many elements, from planning, executing, launching, monetizing. How do you ideate? How do you create funding and casting and do pre-prod, post-prod, localize? يعني كل شيء من تطوير الفكرة وكتابة السيناريو والإنتاج وتعريب وغيرها كل هذه it's a critical part of the production cycle. And when we think about technology of today, especially AI, imagine how all of this can be radically made more efficient. So question to you, knowing how the entertainment industry has evolved and will continue to evolve, what do you think is going to be the one biggest thing that's going to drive the next big innovation? Is my voice clear or is it low? It's fine. Next big tech innovation for entertainment. Go for it. AI, how? Like, tell me specifically. Yeah. Remind me your name? Sham? So Sham was saying that AI is going to make the production of content so much easier. I quoted this in one of the previous events. Anyone knows James Cameron? Avatar, Titanic as well. He was asked the other day, AI can make production much cheaper. And today it takes you 1,000 people to produce an avatar. What are you going to do when AI takes over? Are you going to produce the next avatar with 100 people or 500 people? He said, no, I want to produce it with the same 1,000 people and use all their talent in half the time and half the cost. The other perspective is, in a world, as Sham noted, it's going to be a lot easier to create content in the future. What does it mean to storytelling, to authenticity, to trust, to IP, when you have infinite content produced by AI? That's something we always think about as Disney. Let's talk about MENA next. أهمية هذه المنطقة. So there's many reasons why this region matters. First, today, Sharq al-Awsat, so Middle East, is around a similar population to the US or Western Europe, around 400 million. As per projections from this source, it's estimated to be equivalent to the US and Europe combined in terms of population. So this is a big region that's growing as well when we think about the Arab world. Next, it's not just a big region that's growing, it is a very, very young population. When you look at Saudi, 2/3 of the population of Saudi are under 30, compared to 1/3 if you look at Europe or US. So this is critical because it's not just from a demand standpoint, youth drive this entertainment sector, but even from a talent standpoint, youth have been a critical component of the industry. And what I love the most, this region has incredible stories to tell. From across each of the corners, whether it's the Gulf, to Morocco, to the Levant, to Egypt, there's just so many incredible rich stories that we can tell, and I think not just will resonate locally, but even at a global level. And I'm especially proud of what we're seeing here in the kingdom, especially after 2030 vision, that's made, finally, some of these incredible stories now more visible. Another reason why this region is super important, we're connected. Fun fact, Saudi Arabia has the highest social media penetration on the planet from any country. And this region has the highest, especially the Gulf, highest smartphone penetration and internet penetration around the world. These are all enablers for the sector. And it doesn't stop there. There is constant investment, there's ambition, there's vision in this market, like no market in the world. Again, just looking at Saudi Arabia, since 2030 vision, before this there were 10 companies operating at the local level, 10 شركات محلية بقطاع الترفيه والإعلام. Today, there's 4,000. These 4,000 employ 150,000 people in Saudi. 2030 vision, this grows to 450,000. So this isn't just, talk. This isn't just theory. It's not a strategy slide. This is action being taken. And finally, this industry is seeing the growth that it deserves. And we see the same across other cities as well. Not the same, but also kind of that similar trajectory, let's say. And this is extremely important. When you look at the GDP, so قطاع الناتج العام تبع بلادنا, today the media and entertainment sector represents 2.6% of the GDP in developed markets. يعني البلاد الغربية القطاع الإعلام والترفيه يمثل 2.6% من الناتج العام. But it's very much different in our countries. In Saudi, UAE, Egypt, this is just 0.5%. So this shows that as a GDP contribution, this sector is still in very, very early stages. And when you think about the entire equation again, it's a big region, it's a young region, it's an ambitious region, it has the stories to tell, then we must be optimistic about the future of this sector. So let's summarize. I have a timer, عندي وقت وراكم فأنا عم جرب أسرع شوي يعني. Let's summarize. Why is this region extremely exciting to be part of? As we said, it's young and fast growing. It has a rich culture that's digitally connected. And we have huge ambitions. And there's room for growth. Trust me, and I see some people here from outside the region as well. I know Ziggy, and it's not like this in other markets. Other markets have reached the maturity level or some decline even. This is why there's global interest in this region. Next, I'm going to give you a bit of background about streaming. So when we think about streaming today, it is an equation of multiple factors. Mostly 4 things. Content obviously is king and queen and everything. And this is not enough to just have a platform, streaming platform, and have content in it, right? You need to have relevant stories, quality stories. People are competing their own attention and their own time with social media, with other streaming platforms, with time with their kids, their friends, their family, their sleep, etc. You need to have proper content that can move people. So that's obviously a key part of it. Next is you need to have a product and a user experience that makes it easy for people to discover and consume content. And then it's not just about having a product and content. This needs to reach to local audience. So partnerships, having the right price points, having the more kind of accessibility across platforms is critical. And you need to build your brand and rebuild it over and over again. I can tell you as Disney, we're a 100-year-old company. And in Saudi, we are way behind where we want to be. I'm being very open with you. We see massive potential, and this is our priority market in MENA. But we're in early stages of building our brand. And key part of that is working with local creators, working with local storytellers to better establish our brand in the market. And I'm extremely optimistic that when I see you here next year or the year after, you're going to see much more momentum from Disney Plus. We never take for granted that we're Disney and therefore we should succeed. We should earn the trust and attention of our audience every day. But we've been trying as well. And I want to as well give regards to Sarah, who leads Saudi marketing from the team, who's behind a lot of these activities we see here. You know, we try to resonate with the local market by, you know, being part of Ramadan, doing activations. So this was a new walk. We worked with PIF on a really remarkable activation, showcasing some elements of our platform that are relevant to our local culture. ثقافة المحتوى هون لازم نحترم ثقافتنا. يعني الأطفال المشاهدة الآمنة كتير مهمة. فكديزني بناخدها هذه دائما بعين الاعتبار. And this is something we always talk about. يعني. Again, this is Riyadh Boulevard. Partnerships, we're very proud of a partnership we did recently with Shahid and OSN Plus, and there's more, inshallah, coming along the way. And the list goes on and on and on. Again, we're just getting started, but just gives you a flavor of the kind of activities we've been doing. However, this is not an easy region. I can't tell you it's just, okay, you're young and ambitious and growing, and therefore you're going to succeed. There are some challenges in this region. في شوية صعوبات بالمنطقة لازم ناخدها بعين الاعتبار. جزء منها الدفع. One of the challenges is payments. In Saudi Arabia, credit card penetration is 23%. That's not very high. In Egypt, it's 3%. That's very low. So for a streaming service where your revenue that you need in order to invest in content, you're reliant on people having payment access, this is something that local players or global players need to think about. So having partnerships with telcos and others becomes critical. Second, piracy, القرصنة. Piracy is available around the world. You know, everyone pirates. I speak to family members who pirate Turkish content. I always tell them, what are you doing? But it happens, it's real. And unfortunately, in our part of the world, it's something that's not frowned upon. It's normal. It's part of the fabric of society. If it's free, I'll try to use it. I'll try to use a free link. Yani. And that's a problem when you want to fuel an industry that will then end up being able to fund local content. That's going to be a problem when that content's available for free through pirates. As I said, social media is becoming more and more prevalent. So that means that people spending time watching movies or series or others, it's not as it was before. We can see the rise of short-form content and micro-dramas kind of take off because people don't have time to sit and watch 3-hour movies. Sorry, James Cameron. But people want shorter things. They don't have time to spend on just movies and series. And the other thing is language diversity. We have so many dialects in this market. And even just in Saudi, right? في Hijazi, وجنوبي. I just learned today there's 5 different dialects for Jnubi. ونجدي وغيرها. So like, how do you tell these stories in a way that can reach the audience? So for Disney, one of the things that we try to differentiate in is to leverage the wider ecosystem of the Walt Disney Company. We have multiple businesses, of course, from our cinema business, our stores. By the way, the first cinema, when cinemas opened here in April, I think, 2018, the first movie to play here was Black Panther from Marvel, one of our movies. So we're really proud to be part of that kind of new journey or new phase for Saudi. Our stores, we have a few stores in the region. We have more coming. Hint, hint. Of course, we have our musicals, our products, our live events, our channels. And that's something that is an advantage that Disney has that we plan to leverage more and more of in the future. We don't want to just be another streaming company, but we're part of a wider ecosystem. And that's been the vision of Walt Disney from day one. Really, it is a flywheel of interconnected brands and businesses that feed into each other. So when you see a Toy Story movie, I can't wait for Toy Story 5 to release this summer. You also get for your kids possibly a Woody or Buzz toy. And before you watch the Toy Story 5 in cinemas, you might catch up on Toy Story 1 to 4 on Disney+. And you might, be listening to You've Got a Friend in Me, a kind of a song on Spotify, etc., or Anghami. Sorry, I don't want to be biased. And that keeps the IP alive. So to Sham's point earlier, what happens when content becomes easily produced? When you have infinite pieces of content that people can create? What happens, we think, is brands, trusted brands and IPs become much more important. Because this is what cuts through the clutter, and that's what allows, entertainment businesses to differentiate. And I think as we think about Arabic stories, Saudi stories, we really must think about not just kind of leveraging that technology for AI, but keeping these strong, authentic stories that will be kind of living with us for years to come. But as I said, Disney is a big company. We're over 200,000 employees. We're 100 years old, and we have parks, we have cruise ships, we have all these things. And for a lot of the people here, perhaps you're part of big businesses or small businesses. The most important thing that we always think about is that a quote from our founder, which is we must never forget that despite everything that Disney is part of, it all started with a mouse. Small beginnings are critical, and it's part of the journey, and that means, and Disney has faced incredible challenges 100 years ago, recently, and in the future. The most important thing is to stay patient and stay ambitious. Be impatient with actions, but patient with results. And hopefully we're going to see this industry and a lot of the companies and kind of organizations that you're all part of thrive in the future. So thank you very much. I appreciate your time. I realize إنه أنا بحكي بالإنجليزي أكثر من العربي. إذا في أي شيء ما يكون واضح اسألوني وأنا يعني after the show, after the session we can chat. Okay? يلا يعطيكم العافية. شكراً.